Bonjour, my friends. My mornings are not the same without my coffee. So today, I'm going to talk about the French press coffee machine. Being a huge coffee addict, I have several coffee-making devices in my kitchen. But the French press is the one I use the most, and this is why I highly recommend it. It's a quick, simple way to make a robust cup of coffee. And I love that I can take it with me on camping trips. Nature is always more enjoyable after you've had that morning cup, isn't it? While this method of brewing coffee has become really popular in recent years, it's been around in some form since the 1850s. That's when Henry Otto Mayer and Jacques Victor Delforge, a metalsmith and merchant respectively, patented a device for the filtering of coffee by means of a piston. This device very closely resembled our modern French press, though it didn't have a seal around the filter. As anyone who has enjoyed a latte or cappuccino knows, Italy has a way with coffee, and it took a Milanese design firm to introduce the all-important seal in the 1920s. After this development, the French press gained popularity in Europe, though it was still a novelty here in the US, where instant coffee reigned supreme. It certainly reigned supreme in my house, by the way. I brewed my first cup of Folgers at age 8, while my parents were sleeping. And if I hadn't been bouncing off the walls with caffeine, I might have gotten away with it. But enough confession time. My tastes changed, and so did America's. Flash forward to the early 90s when an artisanal coffee revolution was brewing. In 93, famed New York Times food critic Florence Fabricant touted the French press method, and suddenly this decades-old device was très chic. As I mentioned, one of the biggest advantages of the French press is its simplicity. You certainly don't have to be a trained barista to operate one. That said, there are some tips that can help you get the most out of your French press. For one, be sure to clean your French press after every use. You don't want the dregs from the last batch ruining your next cup of coffee. I also recommend using quality water. It is an important ingredient in your coffee after all. And it might sound counterintuitive, but you should avoid distilled or completely filtered water, as you want some minerals in there to bring out the taste of the coffee. Speaking of water, make sure you are using the right water to coffee ratio to get the flavor just right. 15 parts water to 1 part coffee works best. You might want to invest in a good scale at first until you can get a better feel for the proportions. Finally, water temperature should be just below boiling, around 200 degrees Fahrenheit, or 93 Celsius for my international readers. Follow these tips and you'll be a French press master in no time. What's your preferred method? Are you a French press person, or do you rock the drip-over method? Perhaps you swear by your Keurig, as many of my fellow coffee lovers do. I would love to know how you get your cup of joe. Please, leave your comments below, and to know more, visit cookingwithjade.com. See you next time.